So you might be wondering, how come this channel in existence for so long and we only now posting a pepper sauce recipe? And the answer to that pretty simple. And while I've made pepper sauce for myself at home in the past, I never really took the time to develop a proper recipe for it. So I just used to just throw pepper, throw garlic, wherever it is, wherever I have on hand, and make a quick pepper sauce. But in recent times, I actually developed a proper recipe. It was a hit at home and among friends. Now, I made this pepper sauce when YouTuber Joe Hattab was here in Trinidad.
What we gonna do today?
So I made a pepper sauce with him and that tasted real good. I shared it with a couple of friends as well as the family and thing, and everybody loved the pepper sauce. So today I'm gonna show you how to make it. Now this recipe actually begins in the market. Now the first time I made it, I went to Charlotte Street and I got my yellow pimentos and yellow scotch bonnet peppers. But for this recipe video, I got these in the Central Market by Heyman. To me, it could all be in my head, but I find like these yellow pimentos have a little more fruity flavor than the green and the red ones. So that is why I'm using these. So we're using yellow pimentos and yellow scotch bonnet peppers. So in addition to the peppers, to flavor up this pepper sauce, we're also going in with some limes, a lot of garlic, and a lot of shadow beni. Now, if you can't get shadow beni, you could use cilantro or you could use parsley if you wanted. So I just want to cut the tops of the pimentos. I'm also cutting the tops off of our scotch bonnet pepper. Also cutting the stems off the shadow beni. And then just giving it a rough chop. And I want to juice my limes. Let's roll in them. Yeah, even if it's a dry lime, that'll help get the juices out. All right, so the rest of this coming together right here in the blender. So I want to start by adding my shadow beni. So making pepper sauce is not an exact science, right? You could play around with, the proportions in terms of your ratios of pimento to scotch bonnet, depending on your heat tolerance. For this recipe, I used 60 pimentos and I'm going to use about 6 scotch bonnet peppers. So that works out 10-to-1 in terms of ratios of pimento to hot peppers. Obviously, you could change that around if you want, depending on how hot you want it. But as I said before, I go in for more flavor than spice in this recipe. So you see what's going on here. My blender already filled to the brim, so I'm gonna add our lime juice. This is about half cup of lime juice. And I add in about 1/4 cup of white vinegar. Just gonna pulse this. All right, gonna add the rest of my ingredients here. Add the garlic. Also wanna go in with 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Of course, you wanna scrape down the sides of the blender, get everything in there. And at this point, you could stop here with your pepper sauce and leave it at this consistency. But for me, I like my pepper sauce to be a little more homogeneous. So what I'm gonna do is stream some oil into it to emulsify it a little bit. Okay, so to emulsify our pepper sauce, we're gonna put it on low. And while it's on, we're just gonna stream some olive oil into it. And And there's it right there, you know. Pepper sauce, done. And of course, you want to use a sterilized jar to store your pepper in. So this pepper sauce, while yes, it is spicy, is a little more on the flavorful side because you get a little more of that fruitiness coming out from the pimentos as well as the yellow scotch bonnet peppers. Of course, you have the aromatics in there, the garlic and the shadon beni. But what's a real nice touch in there is the lime juice. It gives it that citrus finish and it pairs really well with seafood and poultry. So if you like this recipe, please give it a thumbs up and give it a share. If you're thinking about trying it and you want to add some tweaks to make it your own, let me know down in the comments what you would do to jazz this up. And of course, I will post a link to the full recipe in the video description. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Mm-hmm.